Hey, it's Abernathy's Afterhours.
Hey, it's Becca.
It's Red.
And we're from Abernathy's.
And now we get to podcast. Yay! Did you ever do those like diary books or like fill out things about yourself?
For sure.
I do them constantly.
I have one still that when I read it back, it's cringeworthy.
Is it?
It's bad. Well, and I think a lot of it was like, I think it was like junior high, still like really growing up, and like I felt like it was a part at the time of my life where I struggled the most to accept myself.
Yeah.
So it was just a lot of like those thoughts written down. I'm like, I'd rather not.
I never really had like a diary.
Yeah.
I'm not good about that. Still to this day, I'm like, I should have a journal and just write something. I get 2 pages in and I'm over it. And half of them are just like, it's not like a cohesive story. It's like bullet points.
Yeah.
And so when you read it back, you're like, what the fuck was I talking about?
Well, what were they like, your book that was it like, it would ask you questions?
It would ask me questions. And to this day, if I find something like that, I buy it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have 3 in this house right now. But I found ones from when I was younger and they're pretty funny.
Yeah.
All of them pretty much accurate to what I am now.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe a few things different, but
I'm trying to think of it. Is there anybody that I ever really wanted to dress like?
Gwen Stefani.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
It's because she's awesome.
Yeah.
You know who my biggest one, this is going to be real bad. I wanted to be Avril Lavigne.
I knew it.
Yeah, when I first saw her, I was like, well, and I think she was I don't think she's that much older than we are.
I have no idea.
I don't think she is. So like seeing her as like a young, maybe she was 18, maybe you're 14, but like she seemed so relatable and so attainable that I'm like, oh, that's what I want to be.
I was like, ew, I hate her. So the reason that I don't like her, I didn't like her music. I couldn't get into it. But when I was in like, I don't know, 6th grade, 7th grade, I started only buying white t-shirts and drawing ties on them.
Oh, so you had been doing it prior. And then all of a sudden people were like, hey, Avril Lavigne. And I was like, I'm done.
And I stopped doing it. But I used to do that constantly. I would constantly draw on my clothes. I pretty much just wanted to be Gwen Stefani.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to wear a lot of like plaid cutoff shorts. Men's trousers.
I remember I got really into wearing little boys' clothes in high school. I had a Boy Scout uniform shirt I wore all the time.
I wore boys' baseball shirts.
I wore a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles t-shirt. I wore a shirt that I stole from my little brother that had The Rock on it.
That's sweet though.
And it says, do you smell The Rock is on the back?
Yeah. I pretty much I had a laughing attack in my bathroom one day because my friend Jenny and I had went through my mom's storage stuff, found like a giant box of pictures. Every single fucking picture of me, I'm wearing a different baseball jersey. Like ones you play in.
Okay.
For like Little League. I never played baseball.
You just like that 3/4 baseball sleeve cut?
It wasn't even 3/4. It was a regular t-shirt, like with the 3 buttons.
Oh, okay.
And it would have like the team's name or like Dairy Sweet. Or like whatever, you know.
My sister played on the Dairy Sweet softball team.
We had her jersey. But I'm like sitting there and I'm like, where did I get these? I knew no one in baseball. But
did you get those from thrift stores, you think?
I guess.
When do you think you started thrift store shopping?
Probably around like 12.
Okay.
I think once my friends started driving. Because I was always friends with just a little bit older people. And then they had older sisters and siblings and stuff.
They gave you a ride.
Yeah. So probably like 12 or 13.
I always remember my mom would shop at thrift stores, so it didn't seem weird to go to a thrift store, but I don't think I probably really got into thrift store shopping until I was probably like 17. Yeah. You know, that's when I really started going there a lot.
Well, it was because you legitimately probably had to, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what? And I do remember
remember
asking for a ride to the Salvation Army to look for a plaid skirt. Because I wanted a schoolgirl uniform kind of looking outfit.
I did that too, and I don't know why.
Yeah, and I remember my older brother gave me a ride, and he was like, I'm not going to get in trouble for letting you buy this, am I?
You're like, yes.
For sure. You'll be held personally responsible.
When was the first time you colored your hair?
I was 13 and I dyed my hair blonde.
Oh.
Yeah. My mom tried, God bless her soul, she tried so hard to talk me out of it. She was like, you can't. And I was like, watch me. And she was like, and she didn't maybe do a great job of alliterating, like, no, literally, you physically can't.
Like, your hair does not go blonde.
Yeah. And she, at some point, she gave up arguing with me and was like, yeah, go ahead, knock yourself out. So left me alone in the bathroom and came out with like coppery orange,
beautiful,
huge dried out triangle hair, and then begging for a ride to Pomida so I could buy a box of black hair dye. I think actually,
which probably never really stuck that well, so you had to re-dye it.
I might have dyed it more like an auburn, and I rocked that for a long time actually, like an auburn brown.
That's cool hair.
How old were you when you dyed your hair?
11.
11.
Mm-hmm.
That's Joe's age. Never, he's so straight laced.
Person.
Never in a million years
No.
would he do that.
I couldn't see that. I was 11 and I dyed my hair orange, and it was like that weird like pink bottle, that you squeezed in. No,
Okay.
No, it wasn't permanent, But I went to my friend Jenny's house and I came home with orange hair.
And was your mom like,
My
I'm
mom's
gonna
like,
kill you?
No, my mom's not like she was like, don't get your hands tattooed. And I'm like, whoopsie.
Oh my goodness.
Don't do this and don't do that. Don't do that. You're too pretty. That kind of shit. But she never was mad.
Oh, okay.
She did make me dye my hair back for my senior pictures into more of like an auburny strawberry red.
Okay. From your actual red?
So growing up, 11, like 12 is when I started actually going to, my mom would take me to someone professional to get crazy colored hair.
That's awesome.
I think she was like, this is not obviously going to be a phase for her. But she started taking me to Keir Lonergan at American Hair. It was by the Devil's Glen Hy-Vee.
Okay.
I loved Keir so much and looked up to her. And she always did the coolest shit to my hair. I always had bright blonde on top, and then underneath would be whatever color she decided to do that day. But my hair for a really long time was bright blonde and like burgundies and sometimes purples and blues. And then it'd be kind of like pinky colors. And then all of a sudden I found this lady, and I don't even know what kind of music she does. Her name's Bonnie McGee. I think she's like a singer-songwriter.
I was going to say like the, who's the artist that Mo did a tribute set to? The Janis Joplin song?
No, I don't think so.
Doesn't she have a song called Bonnie McGee?
I don't know. Maybe that's
Bobby McGee.
Bobby McGee.
Damn.
Today it's Bonnie.
Okay.
But I found her, and she had bright red hair with like kind of a lighter streak. And I was like, that's who I want to be. And then it was that forever.
And that's what you look like right now.
To this day. Yep. Always wanted that. Did you want tattoos when you were little?
No, I don't think I wanted tattoos. So my stepbrother moved in with us when I was 13, maybe almost 14. And by the time if I was 14, he would have been 18, and he already had some tattoos, like most of a half sleeve. And they were all, it was done by Shuey, who I think works at O'Toole now. He used to work at Rites of Passage. And really bright. It kind of was inspired by like Donkey Kong and kind of Rampage. You ever play the game Rampage?
No, I literally, if you say any video game, I've never played it.
Okay. And I was just like, that was the first real tattoo I'd ever seen. Outside of my friend Lisa, her dad he's into motorcycles and stuff, and he had a giant Harley tattoo that was done really well by an artist at Poopies in Savannah. So once I saw Tony's tattoo, then I don't know. From there, I was like, nope, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get a tattoo. And then I think from there out, I was like, yeah, I'm getting tattooed on my 18th birthday.
Yeah.
And my parents actually gave me money to get tattooed on my 18th birthday.
That's cool.
So that was actually pretty supportive.
What was your
cool.
first tattoo?
My first tattoo were stars on my lower stomach.
Sweet.
super like, well, in straight lines, in such a tender like spot of your body, really poor decision making.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't.
I probably didn't sit still for shit. So they ended up being these really shaky lines, and then I had to go back, and then another artist had just been tattooing longer, was able to make them thicker and straighter and stuff like that. So, yeah. What was your first one?
Not super original.
There's gotta be no 18-year-old in the entire world that has an original tattoo.
Anchor on my foot.
Honestly, even people who wait till they were later in their life to get an original tattoo, or their first tattoo, still, it's gotta be a hard time having something that's original.
I mean, in this day and age, what is anymore?
Yeah.
There's nothing. Yep, it was an anchor on my foot. And it's actually held up very well.
It has. You can even see the little like low lights in it and everything still.
Everything's pretty good. But I went back like immediately, and I actually have the behind my ears done. Sometimes I'm like, I don't fucking remember what's back there, but I think it's bats and 2 paintbrushes. And Coy did them.
Oh.
He was at a shop on Locust.
Okay.
Yeah.
What made you want to get paintbrushes?
Because I painted a ton in high school.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Were you in like a painting class?
I was in, just general art classes, and then we did like that senior class where like
you get to do whatever you want.
Pretty much do whatever you want. I always did painting stuff, but it was always abstract-y, like weird, like building with like modeling stuff, and then you paint over it, and then I was super into Jackson Pollock for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like really.
They had a Jackson Pollock at the Figgy for a long time.
I knew that, and I never made it down. I was kind of sad.
It was huge. It was probably, the painting itself was like under 20 feet long. I mean, it was huge.
Yeah. I've seen his work. He had a Chicago Art Institute thing in there, and I got to see his work there.
That's cool.
Yeah, really into that. But I couldn't tell you which side's which, though.
Yeah. They're back there.
Mm-hmm. That's all that counts. All that matters. But I don't know why I wanted tattoos, because I don't remember anyone in no one in my family really has them.
You never remember seeing a tattoo and being like, that's what I'm gonna have. No?
Like, maybe blame it on, like, my cousins Mel and Lori.
Yeah, they have tattoos
They
before.
have tattoos. They're just, like, a little bit older than me. So they started, like, they had their tongues pierced and their belly buttons pierced, and I was like, I want that.
2006 party.
Yeah. So maybe that was kind of like, oh, that seems cool.
Yeah.
But
it's a slippery slope.
I've never had my tongue pierced, though. Have you?
No, never had my tongue pierced.
Scared.
By that time, I think that trend was just about on its way out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your eyebrow?
Nope.
Me neither.
Yeah, and that's... My sister has a gnarly scar
Yeah.
from having her eyebrow pierced in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Belly button?
Yep.
Nope.
Actually, Miranda and I are talking about, so our customer and friend, Adam, who is, doing a piercing apprenticeship at Why Not?
Oh, yeah.
And he just pierced my sister, and he came into the store the other day, and, he had said when we were there, like, hey, you gonna get your nose pierced? And I was like, no, I couldn't really see myself doing that at this point, which is weird to say out loud. Like, but I was like, after leaving the tattoo studio and thinking about it a little bit, I was like, I guess if I were to get anything pierced, I'd probably get my belly button re-pierced. There's a very prominent scar, so it's like, if I'm gonna have a scar,
might as well put something pretty on it.
might as well put like a bling on it, you know?
I've never had my belly button pierced.
So, and Miranda has the same issue, but he said he hasn't done any belly button piercings yet. So we said, when you're ready to try it out on somebody, I let your ex-husband pierce me.
Yep. I let him do
and
that
he
too.
almost had a panic attack.
Joshua. That was the slowest, most painful nose piercing I've ever had. And I have 3.
Was it one of the ones that you have right now?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll tell them.
I'm a fucking lifer with these piercings.
Okay.
I mean, earrings, piercings, these are in for life. I've never taken them out. But yeah, I think it was... Which one's lower? There's one that's like lower than the rest. I don't remember.
I
want to
really
say that
can't,
it's this side.
I can't see a big noticeable difference, so.
Yeah. I had Ian from Scorpion's Den.
Yeah.
Remember? He did my other piercing on my nose, 2 piercings on my nose, and then
At the same time?
Joshua did. No, different times.
Okay.
I just couldn't stop piercing my nose for a minute.
I do like when people get the higher part of their nose pierced.
Caitlin has that.
Get them on both sides.
Yeah.
I do like the way that looks.
I kind of wanted my bridge done, and then I started dating somebody who had their bridge done, and I was like, well, that's weird.
Plus, your glasses are going to cover it most of the time.
True. And then I was like, oh, glasses that could screw onto my piercing. How genius. And I was like, no, if something happened,
Yeah.
like got them ripped off, imagine that.
So you're such a good, you keep your piercings in. I'm like, when I get it pierced, I'm like, nah, maybe I'll just take it out. Like, I've already considered.
Well, I guess I can just take this one out for a week.
Already considered just not having it pierced before I even agree to get it pierced.
I'm like, I've decided this is part of me now.
Yeah.
It's weird to think you would take them out.
Yeah. No.
Now you just have a hole.
Yep. I'm like,
Weird,
nah.
You're a weird lady. You've had your ear done. Your ears have never really changed, right?
Yeah. No, I think I got this pierced from somebody who was learning to pierce.
You're just really nice.
Yeah, I like being the idea of like being that kind of guinea pig for a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Obviously.
But yeah, although I've never been tattooed by somebody that was like, it was early in their,
No.
yeah.
That is a little too permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Actually, I was there through Josh's piercing apprenticeship and let him do that, but I have not gotten tattooed by him.
Huh.
I will one day.
Take care of that.
Yeah. I will one day. I've only been tattooed by Joe, who's been with me for 9 years. Only like 3 times.
Really?
4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Huh.
That's stupid. Should have been way more.
Should have a tattoo shop
1
right
per
side.
year. Oh, right here?
Yeah.
We've never really changed that much. I mean,
No.
from being kids to right now, pretty much the exact same person, just different clothes.
Yeah.
Slightly.
Yeah, and no, mostly actually still the same.
Still the same
clothes.
thing, yeah. Because I still have things from when I was little. But when we met each other, we were heavily relying on our art to pay our bills. What bills we had.
Yeah, really wanted to make that transition. Although I think it wasn't until I met you that it was like finding out that transition was possible.
Oh, yeah. No, if it wasn't for you and working alongside of me doing the things that we were doing, Abernathy's would have never even been a thought.
I did have one like art professor in college, Professor Lipnick. He was super, I did a multimedia piece in his class, and I remember making it, and I was living in a really small apartment at the time, and I was like, well, I don't really want to take it home, you know, and he was like, well, you could sell it. And I was like, excuse me? But like that was opening up a whole can of worms. Like, oh, well, how would I sell it? Like, how do you think I would do that? And so that was one of the first pieces that I brought to 4 Miles to Memphis. So that was a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was painting. I didn't even go to 4 Miles to Memphis. Phil Schischler went there. Me and Phil were probably living with each other.
Yeah.
At that point. He was walking down LeClaire and he went to the shop. He met Danielle. And he was like, oh, I have a friend who would totally fit in here. Because she makes cool shit. He actually had a painting of mine in his car.
Oh,
And he
that's
showed-
so cool.
But it was like one of those weird things. You know, I don't know what one it was. Or
Yeah.
maybe he was telling me.
Do you have any of that art still?
I have one thing and it's at my mom's.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
What is it?
It's this really crazy abstract. It's on wood. Has this big, beautiful gilded gold frame. And it's called The Octopus's Garden. And it has this huge, like, crazy tentacle thing that comes out. It's all paint splattered and dripped and tons of different layers with tons of different textures in the back. And then I had taken, what's that called? Gesso?
Okay.
That 3D, like, it kind of hardens.
Okay.
And I had made this big flower. And it's actually really pretty and I'm really proud of it.
Oh.
But it's at my mom's house. She won't let me take it.
My mom has a few pieces of like my high school and college art that she was really good about holding on to because I may have sold them if given the
Probably.
opportunity.
Yeah.
I actually was really into ceramics for a long time. And I had like these busts of all the members of Kiss.
Yeah.
I had those and hung them up in almost every apartment I had until I just moved them too many times and they broke.
I can't think of art in that way.
No?
No. Like, I can't. I wish I could. I wish so badly I could sculpt. I can't. I can't.
I bet you could.
Nope, I can't. I really can't.
I did a bust of myself, and it's about life size, and it's of when I had a mohawk.
Cool.
Like a faux
I want
hawk.
to see that.
Yeah, my mom has it.
Tell her to send me a picture.
And then also I did like a big pot, so it's about that big around, and it's like Ming Dynasty kind of inspired, which is all like the pottery from that era is all blue and white, and like it's done in like bands, like sections, so it'll be like a geometric pattern, and then one band is like a scene of like people working in a garden.
Cool.
So I did like a replica of a Ming Dynasty pottery piece. She has that.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then a drawing practice that we did in art class where it was really cool. They turned off all the lights in the classroom, and the only light was the projector, and the art teacher, Mrs. Schneider, she was the awesomest. It was a portrait of a Native American like chief, and the picture was upside down, and then the challenge was like, put your pen on the paper, don't lift your pen up off the paper, and don't look at the paper as you draw, like only look at the image. Mm-hmm. So it turned into this really kind of abstract looking line drawing, and then I gave it to my mom, and she like went back and watercolored it.
Oh,
it looks cool.
that's awesome.
It was a group effort though.
That's cool.
But so she has those pieces, and that's the only things I probably would have.
Well, when we met each other at 4 Miles to Memphis, I remember I was doing
Tattoo flash
greeting card type things. So weird. A lot of decoupage. It was, once again, probably
if you could put decoupage on it.
I was doing that. I did try to do glass bead stuff.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, it's scary.
Oh, there's fire.
It pops. It can break. Yeah, tried to do that, and then I don't know what else. I wanted poster coasters.
Wantedpostercoaster.com. Still a thing.
Possibly.
.co.uk.edu.
You were doing lots of handbags.
Yeah, sewing handbags, and then that's when I really slowly started getting into like reselling clothing.
Yeah.
And that turned into really what I wanted to do. I like sewing handbags still. I bought a ton of stuff to sew handbags at the beginning of quarantine. And I never did
happened?
I never did it.
I just went through my bags, and I'm going to make a shelf in my little room, my little burlesque room, that has just all my bags that I like.
Oh.
Because there's no way you can carry them all the time.
Well, I used to have a shelf in our bedroom that was all purses.
Yeah. A lot of them you made.
Oh.
So
I do have a section in my wig room for purses.
Makes sense.
The wig cave.
Makes sense. You know, one of the last projects that we worked on for 4 Miles to Memphis before we had Abernathy's were bags.
What were they? What did they look like?
It was like a tote bag, and it had all those random shits on
Oh, we were like a 2-person assembly line.
them. We really were.
We were cranking it out.
Becca sewed, and I pinned and cut. Or I cut and pinned, and then you sewed. That'd be more.
Yeah. There was a lot of times where I had a hard time staying focused in that little room with just the two of us, and it was like there's nobody there to hold you accountable, and
yeah. Hard.
It was super hard.
We don't do a very good job now. And there are people that we have that are customers holding us accountable.
Well, yeah, that helps a little bit, I feel like. Yeah. So that was us and little us and big us and now us.
It
turns out we never really grew up, and we're actually both 8 years old.
I'm fine with that. That's fine.
If you want to come see what the inside of an 8-year-old's brain looks like, you can see it at Abernathy's.
Yep, that's exactly what that is.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Wow.
So yeah, you can come visit us at our store.
Yep, 432 West 3rd Street in Davenport, Iowa.
Or you can visit us on our website.
Yep, and that is www.shopabernathys.com.
Yeah.
So,
and we will talk about more stuff soonish.
When we figure out what we're doing.
Okay, bye.
Bye.